I'll just get your initial take here as you're kind of digesting the news.
Yeah, not stunned. Definitely surprising here, but you did see something like this developing over the last few weeks here where
With the
Miami and
Bucks,
Portland, with someone other than the Heat, obviously it
someone
seems
other
like
than the
Toronto.
Heat, sure, but the Bucks is bad
It's
for
bad,
the
and
Celtics.
yeah, and
And
Giannis
yes,
set it up.
Kareem, you should be scared. Yeah.
I mean, Giannis, a very smart superstar, applying the pressure about a month ago with that New York Times interview, a couple podcasts where he hinted at leaving Milwaukee. And obviously that puts the Bucks front office into overdrive, leads them to pull off a very creative trade here. I like this for Portland too. This is a good trade for the Bucks. Obviously, they upgrade at point guard here. Don't send out too much depth beyond it. You lose a starter in Grayson Allen, but Bobby Portis can step right into that spot. So what I think they did here is close the gap with the Celtics because you look, I said it last night, the Celtics with full health now, as reported last night, entered this season as prohibitive favorites.
Well, no, no,
Now,
no. They were not
now they're
prohibitive.
co-favorites. I
They were
think they were prohibitive.
they were slight favorites, and now I think that's flipped. I'll be stunned if when the odds makers get their hands on
So
this.
I do have FanDuel's
Oh, what
odds
does
here in
FanDuel
front
have?
of me.
Okay.
They have the Bucks as championship favorites at plus 430, or 360 rather. Nuggets move up past the Celtics, obviously with the East shift there, the 430, and then the
Yep.
Celtics fall to third at 480.
So there you have it. No long. It's a tough one, and we might as well tell you about FanDuel. Absolutely, get in there. 200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Our official sponsor here at the CLNS Media Network. Get in on some action with FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Boston. Super important you enter that way if you are going to sign up. FanDuel.com/Boston. So I guess that's kind of it. That's the question everyone's going to ask is what does this do for the Celtics standing in the thing, and we'll talk about that. We'll wait for more people to kind of filter in. Again, a surprise Garden report, not much promotion, unscheduled, and we can tweet it out again. Ahmed, our fantastic producer, whipped this up for us real quick so we can get on here and just start talking about it. And then we want to hear your reaction as well, what this does for the Celtics' chances. Are they clearly behind the Bucks? Can they make a move of their own now? I floated this without any real insight into whether or not it's even feasible, but something involving Malcolm Brogdon and draft picks in order to pry Jrue Holiday away from Portland, because I don't think Portland necessarily needs or wants veterans right now. So just something to think about, something to talk about. Here's what the trade looks like. Blazers receive Holiday and Ayton. Okay, both trade candidates, wouldn't you think? Or maybe they're going to retool and they're not tanking completely. They've got, maybe they'll just go, I don't know what they're going to do here. We'll see. In addition to 2029 first round pick from Milwaukee and 2 pick swaps. And then the Suns get Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little. So the Suns just got rid of Ayton.
Yeah.
I mean,
add a little depth.
And the Suns had to. They were in a position after doing what they did with Durant that they had no choice but to kind of move on. So, but we're not here. This isn't the Suns report or the Bucks report. This is the Garden report. And really, all that matters here from a Celtics perspective is what this does in the East here. I saw somebody put in the chat already, Bobby, and I'll throw it out there. Yeah, it sounds scary. Giannis and Dame and Middleton. That's assuming Middleton is Middleton. This might be a big 2.5 rather than a true big 3. And I'm not going to lie. And someone put this in the chat, and I think I agree. Miami's big 3 might have been overall better than the Bucks.
Scarier for the Celtics. No doubt about it.
The Miami big 3 would have been worse. So as bad as this sounds, because it's the Bucks and you recognize that this is the team that you've been competing with for the top seed, back and forth over the last couple of years. And they seem like your main competition. Reality is Miami's your main competition. If Miami had a Dame, I think they would have been in much worse shape.
That's why I say Milwaukee closed the gap with the Celtics here. You look at the way these two teams played each other last year, and obviously they didn't get to meet in the playoffs. The Celtics kind of throttled them. You remember that 40-point win
Yeah.
in March, the game where the Celtics brought up Hauser and Muscala and all of them and almost won? They dominated this team a year ago. So the Bucks had to do something to close the gap here, especially after the Celtics added Porzingis. And if all goes well there, you have to think that's going to help Boston get even better. So Miami was the team you feared, having beat you last year, having dominated you going back 3 seasons now, adding a marquee piece in Lillard, who, along with their system, would have put Miami on par with Boston talent-wise, maybe not depth-wise, but with that top-end talent, you would have been looking at another even series now. Depending on what the Heat do here, and we can talk about them in the holiday race too once we get to that, you have to think the Heat are in a tough spot, even with what they've pulled off the last couple of years, sneaking in the playoffs last year, going through the play-in, getting to these finals, unlikely. Losing 2 more rotation guys like they did this summer and not really adding much, this is a massive loss for them. And yeah, as you said, John, you worry about the Bucks more. I always respect Giannis, even after what we watched last year. I'm going to give them the utmost respect and name them right there with Boston in that East hierarchy now. But you'd much rather see him go here than Miami.
So here's the thing. Here's what people aren't factoring in. If he was going to Miami, he was going to Miami for nothing Miami was going to miss. Not really. He's gone to the Bucks for something the Bucks are going to miss. But I'm not comparing players. Dame is Dame and Giroux is Giroux. Giroux is still a top 25 player and one of the best defenders in all of basketball. And absolutely still extremely capable. The Heat were going to give up Hero, and they would have been absolutely fine doing that, but they weren't going to mess with their core. The Bucks moved part of their big 3 to become a bigger 3. And yes, it makes them better, but they gave up something. Miami, in the scenario that we saw, was going to give up nothing other than a bunch of firsts. But in the moment, in the here and the now, they were going to be tougher. So I get it. And again, from the Bucks' perspective, I'm surprised they got off this cheap. I think you had Milwaukee over a barrel. They had to make a move because, as you said, Giannis kind of chirps like, we got to do something.
This is everything Milwaukee had, wasn't it?
I mean, you could just more firsts. I mean,
no, this is all the firsts they had. Remember, they traded all their firsts for Holiday.
Yeah, they're out. They're out.
So this is what they had, and it's
these are the first ones. Yeah, because you couldn't go further in the future. They don't have like 31, 32.
No, you can only go 7 years.
So that's right. So they were maxed out. That's right. That's right. Because a Holiday was 3 and 2. Yeah. So that is crazy. That's
and they traded all their seconds for Jay Crowder. These teams are acting like me, John. Them and the Suns.
Give them 6 first. Give them everything you want.
But when your star is saying he's going to leave, you have no choice, especially if you're Milwaukee and you're not going to see another Giannis in your lifetime, probably. They had to do this. And there's some flaws to going in this direction. But the fact that Lillard obviously was willing to team up with Giannis, that he gives them something they didn't have offensively in terms of above the rim or above the break threat they're pulling up from 3, it made a lot of sense.